So this is your final right here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like when I upload.
Except for this one right here, I'd get that hair going a little better.
Okay.
Right there, just that one. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I just like it does look like I just threw it in there because I kind of did.
See?
Well, because like I ended up just going at it like on a regular piece of paper and pencil, and then when I put it up onto a tabloid on Photoshop, it was too of course like short. So I thought instead of like just stretching out the image, I'd just like add more onto the sides. And then there was just a big blank space. I'm like, Hermione hair.
That's why you got to always be thinking about the ratio you're working in.
Yeah.
Always be thinking about that, because man, you can really screw yourself doing that. And I've done stuff like that where I get it and I go, hey, this is great. It's 11th hour. And all of a sudden I go, holy crap. For whatever reason, I'm working in the wrong ratio or whatever. That sucks. Okay.
Okay.
Because there's no way you can go to an art director and go, oh, well, they're going to go, are you insane? This is the simplest thing in the world. You know what I mean? But you fix it, so it's fine.
Okay.
Where's Denise?
I'm right here.
This isn't finished yet, right?
What do I have to do?
Well, like look at the trees, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then like these bushes and things, none of this stuff is designed. And then I'm not really reading this as they're jumping rope. It feels almost like this is a graphic on the ground, kind of.
Okay.
And then like nothing is finished. You know what I mean? None of these kids look finished out. This doesn't look finished out. I mean, you can go in a real styly direction. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But everything has to feel finished and designed. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And like this too, like this bush is the exact same size as this bush, is the exact same angle. You know what I mean? The kids are all sort of the same size. So like all the elements in it, like these are all repeating. At least there's two over here and one over here. But like you don't want to have this kind of symmetricality like that, right? I mean, sometimes it works, but does that make sense? And then like this seesaw needs to be designed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So get it finished out. You got to have a design point of view. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to get these transferred this week. And somebody sent me something in a Word doc. Why have I got a Word doc? Let's see, Ebony's. Hey, Ebony. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Which one of these you're going to go with? Or like vaguely. I know it's not exactly.
I really like the ones that it looks like pin marks and then like the washes of watercolor over it.
Now remember, we're working pencil, but at the end of this, you can put. I'm going to show you how to do some ink on it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So the one I'm working on right now, I got the main chunk of just blocking it in. Because the first thing you got to do is just block it in, and also I think it's going to help explain a little bit. Like you guys watched that demo on or discussion on washes. But now you're starting to, in that video, I'm starting to go, okay, here's where I'm using wet into wet, and here's why. and here's why I'm using this, and here's why I'm using that. And as I go through the thing, I'll probably use every, wash or whatever throughout that thing. So it'll start to make more sense in how you're approaching it if you haven't done it before. Okay. I don't have a problem with any of these. These are cool. Who are these? These are cool.
I know I found them on Pinterest, but I should really try to find the artist. Maybe do like a reverse image search on Google or something.
Yeah, because Pinterest couldn't possibly just give you the information that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
That's what I can't stand about that.
I think those are Quentin Blake.
Huh?
The ones on the other page, I think those are Quentin Blake.
These?
Yeah.
Those are cool.
He illustrated a lot of the Roald Dahl books.
Oh, okay. Now be careful with this here. I like that you're going big on it, but I was reading it from here like these were eyes right here and a nose.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So just make sure, you can do something crazy with the hair or whatever, that's fun, but just make sure it's reading. And I also, because you like animation, right?
Yeah.
So really start, like with this is better, but like really start thinking about your poses, man, because like in animation, it's all about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So lock it down and then let's start heading to final. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's Grant? You here? I don't see him. That's not finished yet. Where's Jesse? Where's Jesse at?
Here.
You here?
Mhm.
Okay, what do you think? The kids are like, I like this kid right here.
The kid up in the front,
This one right here.
behind the bookshelf. Sorry.
I like his
They're not-
hair. Now be careful. I think these aren't too bad. I think here, and I know you're going for like a simple thing, which is fine. Oh, wait. I'm not open. Hang on, I gotta check my file. Oh, that's making me crazy. All right. Okay. Okay, so like here. There'd probably be like a trim down here along the baseboard, right?
Oh, yeah. I feel like the bookshelf, the door, and the wall just looks so flat. And that's what I wanted to ask you about today was how to make those have a little more dimension.
Well, for one thing, it's going to have some sort of let's look at it. Let's just look real quick. Well, here's a basic one right here. Right? Can you see that?
Oh, okay, like the hinges.
Yeah, so what I would probably do, because what you want to do is give it enough, because you're staying simple, which is fine. My computer's making me insane right now. That's cool. And it just moved Photoshop for no reason. Okay, hang on. Not exactly sure what's going on here. The one on the right is not as interesting. But like whenever you do a door or, you know, anything, so it really just requires, okay, so you have a glass, right?
Mhm.
So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that little thickness of the door is right there, right? This one has just a doorknob. You could do the old school doorknob. My school had those. A lot of these schools haven't been updated in forever, so they have old stuff, some of them. And then this is going to come down. And then it has a little, whatever you call it. Like you could put these in there, just a little indication of those. And then for sure, I would put this frame around it. That's really what's going to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
So let's look at this. And then here, I think you're going to see a little of that. And also, again, there's going to be a little bit of thickness to this because it's a board right here. There's going to be a little thickness there. Also, you know, you can punch your line a little bit here underneath. And on these, you know, I'd put little, you know, little names and things like that on it. You don't have to do it on all of them, but I do it on some of them. That makes sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so then you're going to have a little bit of, so this is one of those things I'm talking about. You know when I was talking about transitions?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about. Like the wall's not just going to end. It's going to have, you know, a baseboard, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
This is fine. Another thing I might do here is maybe give it this a little more, so it's kind of drooping a little bit, maybe a little, if I can make it work. I might do that in the paint. I'd probably do that in the paint. In the paint, I'd probably give it a little pull fold, a little, just real subtly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, now this is a stylistic thing, so I don't want to tell you how to do things stylistically. But one thing that is very alligator is this sort of how they have one tooth going up and then one doing that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we're not making a documentary, so that's really up to you. And also this, I'd make sure this feels designed. Like I might puff that out a little bit just to break it. And to give it a little more of an, okay, and this leg's got to get worked out, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck there. I need to keep working it.
So, I mean, I always start just by looking at how they are. And they're sort of like that. Right?
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, again, what's he doing with his tail?
He's like picking it up because he's lifting the rug. So I did hit like the little kid lifting his tail, like mocking his action, kind of.
That's a little complicated, right?
Yeah, is it a little too much?
Yeah, I think it's a little too complicated.
Okay.
You got to be careful how much you're trying to message.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might just give this little indication, like maybe a, what do you call that? That's too like a pocket maybe. You
Yeah, I
know.
just like it.
Huh?
If it's too hard to read or too complicated, like should I just ditch that little kid?
I don't know if you have to have them, but I'd make sure that this wait a minute.
Or maybe I could put him behind the pile of backpacks.
Hang on. Oh God, this computer. I'm just like super irritated today. Okay. See how this guy's almost going off the page?
That
I-
was just my prop. I like left room
Oh,
on the
you
whole
did?
page. Yeah,
Okay.
I took it off, but some prop just messed it up.
You know, yeah. So, and then I don't know, I might go very lightly, find that little perspective thing. And I wouldn't do it as hard as I'm doing it, but I might just indicate a couple of little tiles on the floor or something just to ground it, because otherwise it just feels like it's floating, right?
Yeah.
Or it could be, I don't know, maybe there's a rug right here. There's tiles, but there's also a rug. Because the trick here is you want to populate your thing with enough stuff where it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And then like here, her hair, like this needs to have a little more. A little more design to that hair, and like hers too. What kind of hair she have?
He has braids.
And then make sure like we have like it might just be darkening up the eyebrow or eyelashes a little bit on either one of them. Sometimes with kids, you can get away with this kind of nose. Make sure that these hands, like there's some little indication there. Might be real at that distance. It's going to be pretty simple, right? But we don't want to have them just that, right?
Would that be something to indicate with watercolor or maybe with ink?
I'd probably just do the hand goes like that, more or less, right? Maybe like that, right? So whatever I'm going to show, these are small kids' hands. I break it down into that simple form, and then I can. A lot of times, what I do is like at this distance, I might just kind of indicate, the fingers and the lines between the fingers like that. Does that make sense? A lot of times, what I do is if it's not, if it's distant like that, I might have one a little more out and maybe a little kind of a knuckle idea. Just very simple little things like either one of these, right? Where I start with a basic shape and I kind of carve out a hand out of it, right? But and again, this is pretty far away, so it's not going to be. And this won't go this way. This book, see that curve right there? It's going to go this way because the book's going to go like that. Correct?
Oh yes. Thank you.
Same thing here. All these, and then when it goes up, depending on where you're, and I know we're not worried about like up here, they might go the other way because if you're sitting below them and looking up, then they'll curve the way you've drawn them, right? But if I'm looking down at them here, they're going to curve the other way. And this, I would just make sure that I really read this, like this braid idea. And I just figure it out.
Okay.
Just give it a little more heft. Like whenever you're doing this, you got to give things quite a bit of heft. And then maybe here it just kind of does that. You know what I mean? So the main thing why we're going through all this pain is to understand what a finished drawing is. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because it's key. And there'll be different, ways that in different areas that they'll consider a finished drawing or whatever, right? Like, when people tighten up those prop things and stuff, like that's hard to do because they can get really stiff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then by the way, half the time when I see people that are doing that, they're not going to that level of sort of like that kind of, they're clean, but they still have some life to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do, is that things are nice and finished, but they've got some life to them. That's a little better. And then it'll get a little darker under here. And a little bit of that thickness of the door. Maybe even the bottom part of it. Depending on where we're at. Feels like we're up here, so probably. And then I might put something here. Maybe it's just as simple as another window. Just something there. Could be, I don't know, it could be anything. And maybe there's something on top of here. Of course, they'd probably never let you do that now, so they'd say it's a hazard. Maybe there's a little plant or something up here. You know what I mean? See how I'm breaking up the top just kind of helps?
Yeah, totally.
And then here, so what I always do is I throw things down like this, and then I kind of go in and I flesh them out. Does this have, it's got to have some kind, and I know this is in the back, so you don't want to have as much stuff. One of the things I always usually do with these is I put a water bottle in them. And then they're sometimes they're in that like nylon net thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Then they'll have that little ball thing that tightens it. And then, maybe get one or two, probably just one strap there, because that drives home the idea of whatever you call it, backpack. And just adding a few things, it helps quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're going to find out, like, a lot of this is design, man. Like, you can look at, I'm sure you do all the time. You guys look at children's books, and when you really look at them, you go, God, this is so simple. You know what I mean? It's like super simple, like this. But it's beautifully put together. It's beautifully staged. Somebody was just asking about that. I just lost my shoe. Hang on.
We need that.
Why the hell do they do that? That's weird. I'm so out of it today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's because I'm like going breakneck to try and get this stupid video done.
The video for this class?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I'm out of bandwidth. Like, I've never been out of bandwidth, and I'm out of bandwidth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just getting up, and then I'm, and when I'm shooting videos, it's not, when I'm doing digital, it's not such a big deal, but when I'm shooting stuff like this, it's pretty involved, and I don't want to shortchange it. You know what I mean? So that requires a lot of time. Like, if you're shooting, I don't know how long so far it is. It's probably, I think it's like an hour. If you're shooting an hour of live stuff, it's going to take the whole day easy. You know what I mean? It really takes two, really, because you really need to shoot it and then edit it. And I just shot it and went right in and edited it.
Yeah, that's a long day.
And I can't stand doing stuff like all half-assed. I just can't do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. But the good thing is every time I bank one of these, I don't have to do it again. So eventually, I won't have to be making them constantly. Right now, I'm making them constantly.
Yeah, it'll definitely pay off in the end, though. That's going to be awesome.
Well, the good thing is like I have this class in 247, and they both are doing similar projects, so this will cover both. And then Fundamentals isn't doing this thing, but they're doing inking, which also involves watercolor, so this will help them with the watercolor part. So I won't have to do another one for them. I already did one for them, but this will help them a little more.
Mm-hmm. I'm them. I'm in that class.
Yeah. So I think the more information you can get around how to build this, because it's actually fair. The thing why I like to start watercolor is a fairly straightforward medium. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go out and get a bunch of mediums and all that kind of stuff. You can just go. And I like it. I think it's a cool medium. I like all the mediums, so I guess that doesn't mean anything.
As you go through everybody else's drawings for today, do you want us to stay in the meeting or can we go work on our stuff?
You can go work.
Okay.
Anybody who doesn't need to talk to me can go work. Wait a minute. Let me screenshot the room one more time. Because that's basically what I'm going to do too, is get out of here early and finish this off.
Yeah, I'd like
Screwed
to
up.
add critiques, but sometimes I need to like just get my work done or else I lose time too.
Well, I think we need to do that once in a while, to be honest. I mean, normally we're working in class. We can't work in here in the way we do in class. You know what I mean? You just need to go do your thing. Well, hey, let me screenshot it. Okay, go ahead, Jesse, if you want to.
Okay. Thank you so much for going over my drawing.
All right. Where the hell did this thing go?
I'm gonna head out too, Mike, okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody? I got everybody on screenshot now.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Laura, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, but I like to hang out.
Okay. I'm going to try. I'm still going to try and do the midweek thing.
Right.
If I need to get this thing up so you guys, we can really have a watercolor discussion on Wednesday. That's really my goal.
Right. Hearing your voice and hearing other people's voices, I just pretend like I'm in the classroom, like I'm not at home. So I like to stay. Even like Phil asked me, he's like, "Do you have any questions?" I'm like, "No, not at all. Just hearing your voice in the background in my head helps me focus."
Yeah, I get it. For some reason, I like to go work like in public. I like a lot of noise, and I don't know why, you know. And when I say work, I mean just work in my sketchbook or whatever. I don't make a spectacle of myself. Who's this?
It's mine. June?
Oh, yeah. I like this one right here. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that one I felt that one more because I was trying to like break it down like to simplify it, but I was like, I don't know.
You did better than I did.
Yeah, because in my folder I included a lot more like design stuff to showing you like my thought process because I feel like I understood my composition and what I was going for, but because I started to do the on paper.
Those are interesting.
And then I was doing the trace paper. Like, I gotta get those sticky dots you kept mentioning, because like I was using blue masking tape, and that just sucked. Yeah, so it was really
You can also just get a roll of drafting tape and you use it for your watercolor thing and for that. I mean, that'll work too. The draft dots are just nice.
Yeah, definitely. But I was trying to like kind of get more dynamic with like the gator. But I don't know if that pose right there in that drawing looks kind of like weird. Because I found this.
It's this arm that looks weird, the one that's coming up like that.
Yeah, because I just don't
He's
know
not
how
going
to
to walk like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, do you
They
think I
kind of
should
like
give up?
slither and they walk. It's weird. So
Yeah,
one
it's
thing
like
you might
almost
be
like
able to, one thing you might be able to pick up on, you have to watch them walk on land. I think they still do that. That, you know, maybe there's a little sinewy curve there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, John. I don't want
And maybe this, you know, this covers that. And a little more of a curve, like he's sort of curving around. You know, and then you just got to figure out.
Yeah, I think I was getting too stiff with the pose.
Another guy to look at for this kind of thing is Heinrich Clay.
Yeah, I just got one of his. I was at a thrift store and I found like one of his books there, and
Wow, really?
yeah,
That's
really good
cool.
stuff. Yeah, it was awesome.
I remember Kate plays the man, or was the man.
I think I'm like having problem with like the little trash can. I know it's like really minute,
I think
but
this one's fine.
yeah, I think yeah, I like that one too. I think in the drawing though, I'm having problems like
This is pretty good.
conveying its shape.
In the drawing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's going to come down to, I don't have a problem with the shape. And I'm not going to get as weird about perspective and all that in this.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it could be a little forced and wonky if you want. I don't care. As long as it doesn't feel wrong.
Yeah.
I think I would stay, a little more, I don't know if cartooning is the word, but, keep it,
Like a little
like this
playful.
line right here is getting very wobbly and these lines are getting wobbly. I think it's more about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So get them, cleaned up. And then I might also force you did a little bit. I think I might shorten it a little bit
Would you mind looking at the other drawing
and
by chance?
forcing it a little bit like that.
Oh, okay.
What other drawing?
That was the rough. That's kind of like.
Yeah, don't do this on watercolor paper yet.
Oh, okay.
You want to finish your drawing on regular paper and then transfer it. You saw the video I put up, right?
Yeah, I did. I think because that's what I was confused about. Like, I kept going over it, but like, yeah, that sounds good.
The reason that I do it that way, or anybody does it that way, is you don't want to be on watercolor paper or your final whatever and working it out. You want to, I mean, sometimes you can do that, but I wouldn't do it. If I'm doing a final illustration, I'm not going to do it that way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think I was just lost in the process.
In what way?
Oh, I was just like confused on the instructions, but like looking back at the video, like it was clear.
Yeah, but I mean, in some of this stuff you are going to be a little confused on, so you got to ask me about it, all right?
Sounds good.
Always ask me about it. I'd say go with this kid's starting to work.
Yeah.
He looks like an elementary school Paul McCartney.
That's what I was thinking about the Beatles when I was doing, because I was got those weird bob cuts.
Yeah, the mop tops.
Mhm.
But I think that's starting to work. I'd go in that direction.
Okay, that sounds good.
And I kind of like the Beatles haircuts. And it's just weird.
Yeah,
But it's good. It's good weird.
definitely.
And doing the leg studies is smart. Like maybe it's just that this arm maybe is conveying as coming out more. And
Yeah.
maybe I see this one, maybe just the elbow, maybe.
Oh, yeah, because I think I'm trying to oversell it. And
Yeah.
It just needs to be
Yeah, it's gonna
subtle.
Right?
Yeah.
So I might just see, this one, the elbow on the back,
Uh-huh.
like that, because that'll sort of convey this one and this one. You can at least try it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And like dogs will do that when they jump, when they walk down, when they start sniffing, they'll do that with their tail.
Yeah.
Okay, let's head to finish.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, you're pretty close. Where you at? You here?
Here. Hi.
You're pretty close. I like he's playing a piano. That wouldn't be behind his head. So if it doesn't work out, what I would do is just do this. And then this is going to curve nice like that. That's the thing you got to nail now.
Okay.
This is going to have like a block, and then they usually come down like that. And then it's kind of fun to have like they have the little petals here, and then they have like something like that. You don't have to put that in, but I like to get some of that stuff. And then I might just close the lid.
Okay.
So I don't have to worry about that. I like the alligator.
Thank you.
Get his This leg looks a little weird the way it's bent that way. I think it's going to come forward a little more. Maybe his foot's there, something like that. And then, you know, make sure that these lines are nice and clean. When I say clean, I don't mean that you have to clean them all up, just that they're nice and that they don't feel wobbly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then here, this again, here's another transition thing. So this is the top of the desk, correct?
Yes.
So it's paper thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be paper thin, right?
No.
It would have this,
Yeah.
right? And then this is going to have something. These things just make it also just look more interesting. You know, that perspective is a little wonky, but I think it can be. You know, this, you know, I'd probably put something silly here. There's always something here. Usually it's the apple thing or whatever. Because then I can go a little darker with it and I could probably make that glow
Okay.
when I do the final. Doesn't have to be an apple. It could be anything. It could be some silly thing that you want to put in there. Make sure she's fleshed out, right? Like,
Okay.
just make sure all these kids and everything are fleshed out. I mean, you're almost there. Like this kid's hair, like this hair and everything's got to get fleshed out. Like if you're going to do this kind of, and you can do it simple, like this girl here, you know, she can have bangs, but maybe do that little graphic thing like that. And then I would figure out something with the eyes. I don't like my eyes yet either. Because this kind of real big bulby eye, I don't know about that. See how it's like popping out of her head?
All right.
You know, and it could just be as simple as that. Wait, hang on. I don't like the eye I got either. Makes it look too old. God damn it. Like that. Could just be as simple as that.
Okay.
Because you want to keep them like kids, right? Her ear's too big.
So make the eyes smaller?
It's not necessarily smaller. Just find a language.
Okay.
This is starting to feel a little anime-ish. These eyes. Or like this. I mean, it's getting really crazy, right? Maybe it's a little more of a side view.
Okay.
You know? Okay, I'm just going to go in the wash block in here for this. I use wax paper on top of a white paper. Oh, that's weird. For a palette. Hang on.
Okay.
I think I lost my entire day's work. And then what's he sitting on? What's this here?
I was thinking of maybe he's sitting on his tail, but I could also add a
No, I
stool.
mean the platform or whatever he's on.
Oh, like a carpet. I was gonna draw a carpet on.
Oh, because it feels like he's on a different level than the kids.
Okay.
You see that?
Do you think maybe I should add like a little stage or?
Because it feels like, look at that. It feels like he's totally on a different level.
Hmm.
So you might have to figure that out. Right?
Back to the alligator's leg. How would you fix that? Like, would I push it forward? Would I like hide it behind one of the legs of the
Well,
piano?
it is. I just put it in here where it's sort of hidden behind this leg a little bit. I didn't do it on purpose, but there's going to be another one back here probably. Actually, there'll be one here. You know, and then the same thing I always say, you know, I'd probably do something with that tail. God, I can't believe that. I think I lost my whole day's work. That sucks. Back here, not too bad. Make sure this one's a little, like when it gets wonky in perspective, it needs to feel like that it was on purpose, right?
Okay.
Because sometimes that's fine. I might move this little easel somewhere where it feels a little less invasive
Okay.
and a little more in perspective. You know, and this could be show and tell.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
Yeah. And then like with the chairs and stuff, make a bigger comment or statement. Like these can go, they have those 3 legs. They have the little crank on the side, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Just make bigger, you know, make some big statements. I mean, making big statements on other things and get these kids, just get everything designed out. Now it's the people, get them designed, and they can be super simple. Again, go look at Carter Goodrich. Those are super simple. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, they're great, but they're super simple.
Can you give me some tips on the door towards the back? Like, I feel like it's a little off perspective.
Oh, this
Or-
one?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't, I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's stuff in here. It feels like it's kind of off perspective on purpose. So it doesn't really bother me. Might put the doorknob out, breaking the edge a little more. What's this say right here?
Oh, it was just the class number.
I would make sure that I know that.
Okay.
Put some thickness on this door right there. Oh, I see what it is. It's opening that way. Okay. I'm way off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going that like that. I don't know why I put it like that. I think if you just did that, I think it's fine. And then the other thing, give this a, you know, a frame. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. I got to do that all over again. Shit. I'm going to have to cancel one of my classes tomorrow. It's the only way I'm going to be able to get it done.
Oh no. I hope you work it out.
You at least still have the raw files.
I have it. What it's doing is it's never done this before. I was going through the last part of it, which is color correcting all of it. And all of a sudden when I hit it to play it, it's just frozen. And then it goes, oh, I got to render all these clips, which it never has to do. It never has to render all the clips. There's no reason for it. And I just let it go through the whole rendering process. And it's like playing the vocal or the audio, but it's just frozen. It's not showing anything. So now I got to go down, either go down the rabbit hole and figure out what the hell happened there. And maybe I can undo it. Or and the thing that bothers me the most about it, I mean, the whole thing bothers me. But like my girlfriend's, you know, I'm out in the living room doing this because I need a lot of room. So there's all this background noise that I had to go in there and edit out. Like there's every cough, every glass being put down on the counter, every time she talks on the phone, every time anything happens, I have to go in and edit all that out. You know what I mean? That takes 4 hours to do that.
Yeah.
And now it's totally screwed. Like, and then I was listening to it and I'm like, this is super irritating. Like, and she never is home that much. But today she was home. And it, you know, and I had to go and edit all that out. It's just, it's so, and then it's like this thing right now where I'm out of bandwidth. And I'm not trying to bitch. I'm just kind of venting. Like, I'm out of bandwidth. You know what I mean? Like I only have 1 day off a week, and I spent the whole day yesterday doing the other video. Then I go, I'll get up today and I'll do that. And I actually managed to get what I wanted to get done. And I'm almost done with it. And I go, good, I'll get it up tonight. And now I'm possibly totally screwed. And I have to start it all over. And I can't start it tonight. You know what I mean? I just can't start it tonight. Which means I'll have to start it tomorrow. But tonight I got to go try and figure out what the hell's going on. Because I don't have any idea what's going on. Okay, so you see how the door looks a little better?
Yes.
And then it's things like this too. If this is like whatever, an easel or something, it's got to have a frame or something. Or TV or whatever it is.
It's an easel
And
or
same
like.
thing with this table. Look, here it is again. Here's that table with no edge. Everybody does that. They do a table like this. It's like, so this is a piece of paper? Table's made out of a piece of paper? It's going to have thickness. And then when I'm doing something like this, I'm probably going to fatten that up a little.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that's just because I need to make it read. I need to make it read, and also it's a kid environment. I can get a little chunkier. You know what I mean? And then this, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to get into panic times. I have to get that done. Okay, all right. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And I think you're doing pretty good on the alligator. See, I just turned his legs like that. Hang on. So this one's just coming out this way and that way, and this one's coming out this way and that way. And I might even go, because they have those little legs. I think they're funny. I might just do
like
that, and
cool
his
things.
legs are sort of hanging off the bench right here or something, where they're both like small. Right?
That'd be funny. Like a big alligator with tiny legs.
Well, they do. They have like, there's things about them when you see them in the zoo that are funny. Like they have those little tiny hands and they have those weird, like, arms and stuff.
Funny.
I mean, if you met one in the water, they'd be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But on land, there's funny, and then they have that big smile and the crazy teeth and all that, which again would be terrifying in a different context. And then here,
The windows,
okay.
are they good? Like those two little like squares, or do I have to like
Where?
like the two windows?
Oh, back here?
Yes.
Feels like feels more like they'd probably be like that. I don't know if I'd see into them or down, looking down at this part.
Mm-hmm.
Looks to me like I'd probably see this thickness and this thickness, but not probably the interior. And if I did, it'd be, I don't think you would. I think I'd just leave it like that. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome. All right. Where's Priscilla Gomez? She here? Oh, she was, or Priscilla Gonzalez, I mean. You here? I guess not. It's the start of some good things in here. This one feels very Princess and the Frog to me. Not here? Okay. Who's this? Doesn't have a name.
That's mine. My bad.
Taylor.
I put it in twice because I didn't know if the folder was gonna work, like with my name, because it didn't work last time. So, yeah.
Get them more.
I'm having trouble placing stuff.
Yeah, what?
I'm having trouble like placing kids, so that's the only one I got in so far. But what were you saying?
Get them more fleshed out, like her hair. What was that?
Chicken.
Okay, I'm good now. He's barking in the other room.
Get this stuff where it feels more finished.
Right.
Like her hair could probably go more. I like designing hair. I put up a hair video, didn't I?
I don't know. I didn't see one.
If I didn't, I'll put it up.
Okay.
I thought I did, but I might not. It's like, I'm just getting like
A lot of videos.
all confused.
Yeah.
My whole life is just,
I bet that's a lot.
But again, I'll be banking them. So I'd probably make that a little more like that. You can do most of that with watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe her hands up, like,
Okay, yeah.
because she doesn't look like she's freaked out. She's just sort of like, the heck's going on here?
Right. No, yeah, that's a better pose. I couldn't figure out what to do with it because I was like, okay, like the hands on the hips thing kind of feels stiff. I want to do like something different.
And then eyebrows raised, because that
Right.
and that makes you go, what? You know, and keep her arm, you know, in this one. In this case, I might go, I don't know what that other arm would be doing anything normal because you're sort of shocked. You know what I mean? So you might
Right.
just, what? You know. And then, you know, I might give her a little thicker belt maybe. Actually, that arm would come down like that more. Shoulder. Blah, blah, blah. And then I might give him another pass. Like, I wouldn't do this. Like, is he wearing a plaid shirt?
Mm-hmm.
So I would do it in watercolor, but I would do it.
Okay.
Plaid shirts are pretty easy. They're just, actually, I'm thinking about doing it in the one I'm just lost on that thing. You know, so you got a shirt. I'll just make a crappy shirt. And let's say there's a fold right there. And maybe right there. So usually I can take, you know, one wash, do a color, and then I can take a bigger brush. Let me see. And then let's say, I'm not going to put a wash on it, but let's just go. That's not a good brush. Hang on. That's a good brush for something else. Let's try this one. Okay, this is annoying. Hang on. Let's just try it. No, I don't want a hard one. Let's try a soft round. So let's go to a lighter value.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this brush. But you're gonna have, I don't like this brush, hang on. Back to my regular brush. Yeah, it's better. So you have these, you know, fairly light marks, and then you're gonna have another one that's gonna go through it, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing this really crappy because I don't know why this just doesn't, my whole day's screwed. I don't know what's going on.
I get what you're saying.
You know,
Like
and
do
so,
like
and
the
then,
plaid with the watercolor.
yeah, and then when they overlap, what's going on with this? Hang on. Where they overlap. Okay, something, oh, that's cool. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my whole computer, but it's a mess. This just turned this into an oil, into a, that's weird. I don't want, God, that's super weird. Okay, now I figured out what it is. So you're going to put your, your plat on there, and then it runs through again, right?
Yeah.
And basically what happens is, mostly, is like where they overlap, it'll get a little darker. And I'm doing it
Okay,
way
yeah.
too dark. And then you go and you take maybe a thinner brush and you do, they'll put like an extra line in there. And one line will be like a little powder blue, and one will be, but the whole thing is red, and then it's a little burgundy. But it's just like the big stripes, and when they overlap, you darken the point where they overlap, and then you can just put some thinner lines in there, and you're done.
More of a plot effect.
Huh?
It'd be like more of a plot effect than like just like checkers.
Yeah.
Like that.
And it comes out at some point. It can come out where it sort of reads like that, because like I said, what happens is where they overlap, and I usually do them lighter than this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see they're already making, getting darker as they overlap. And then also, like if there's a sleeve like this little part here, and it's good to put like a fold here and there just to get this effect. It'll kind of come over and then, it'll go, like here, then here, and then over here, because it's going over the fold. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll just put like one fold so I can do that. Or like on a t-shirt logo, I might have the fold going through here so the logo's off, So just kind of, it just makes things a little more interesting looking. And then like same thing here. Now, and I'm not trying to get you to not be simple. I want you to be simple, but there's got to be enough in there. And there's got to be enough, like here, I might get a little pull fold right there. I might put that little flip right there on his pants. I do that all the time. Everybody does it. I might put the little seam down his pants. He's going to have a radiating fold right there. Maybe a pull fold. And then, I don't have to do a lot. And again, this guitar is going to have thickness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be shiny right there, right? This is going to be dark. Your line here can get a little heavier. I could put that, a little more of that. Maybe I'd even make his, maybe he has eyebrows. Just enough stuff where I give them enough kind of interest. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Like these got to be sort of plotted out like that. Same thing here. I might get a pull fold right there.
Okay.
And I'm really, the only reason I'm looking at things like folds and things, it just makes the shapes more interesting. I don't want to put a ton of folds or anything, but just one or two strategic ones helps a lot. Like this one is a good one right there. That one that pulls off your knee and then this comes out is a really good. I wouldn't do them both the same like that or both the same here.
Right.
But just, make them feel. And then like this kid, I might go. So what's she doing? She just going, yeah, it's cool, or what?
She's the one who brought the alligator.
But what is she doing right here?
Like presenting. I couldn't figure out how to make it feel like she was presenting, so that's like the closest I got to it. I was thinking like, how some people like present with their hands like this, but I felt like that was too like.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
I don't know, because kids get the stuff where they're like that. I've seen kids do that where they go,
yeah, like that.
So and so. Like I've seen them do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to like stretch their stomach, because it's like they get like this weird curve when they do that, or like they almost put out their chest and like their hands do their thing.
Or it might just be, other. That hand doing that kind of thing, right?
Right.
I'd probably make her arms shorter. Those are too long. This one could probably stretch. And then maybe her shirt's a little too short because she's lifting her arms up, so her shirt's lifting up.
Okay.
She's got
Yeah.
a belly button. And then she's got, and then it's like, she, you know, you could probably get a pretty good pose out of this because she could be sort of,
Right.
and I'm not getting it yet. Might be a little more curve, the arm. And then one leg way out and one leg like that. You know what I mean? And work it out like that, just stick figures basically, like gesture figures.
Okay.
Like I always put them together, you know, really simple. You know, like if I have somebody, falling out of an airplane, which I'm going to be doing tomorrow when I throw myself out of an airplane because I got to do this whole thing all over again. You know, I work it out real simple, you know, so then I go,
Right.
you know, where's his legs going to be? Oh, they're going to be, his feet are going to be here. You know, and then I go, oh, it's a little short. Legs are too short. Put him back out here, maybe. You know, and I just start working, you know, what his hands going to be doing. Oh, shit. They're going to be like trying to stop. You know, and I'll just go through it and start figuring it out. He's too thick. His feet still got to go up more. Maybe one foot's way over here. Just stuff like that. And I just kind of work it out like real geometric, you know. But I usually start to sort of like that, you know. So I might just start like that and go, well, his hands are out here. And there's his mass, you know. And there's his leg. There's where it bends. His hands up like that. His sleeve's going to pull like that. And then I can start to go, where's his nose? Where's his, he's wearing a hat. Blah, blah, blah. Okay?
Okay.
Same thing. It's got to just feel really finished.
Okay. Got you.
I'm so bummed about this thing. Can't do this all over again. Okay, there's that. Oh, okay, great. Where's Troy at? Is he here? That sucks. He's got a killer drawing. Oh, there he is. Troy. No Troy? Is he in the chat? Okay, well, the one thing I would say is that I might have a little hint of the reflection of the kids because these floors were usually polished, correct? Like gym floors are usually shiny, right? Taylor?
Right.
So I might just put a hint of them reflecting down into this nice, you know, in a blondish wood. Yeah?
He said he's here in the chat.
Why isn't he on mic? How come you're not on mic? Okay, go. That's the only comment I have about it. But get your mic working. Okay, that's the last one I have. Yeah?
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay.
You're ready to go.
Okay, cool.
The only thing I was saying is that maybe you could have a hint of reflection in that floor.
Yeah, I heard you. I just had a question. I guess you said it's fine, but I know that we're supposed to have that border. I just want to make sure it was okay that I have the rope and kind of the hat breaking the border a little bit.
Yeah, you can play around with breaking the border. Especially, the drawing looks pretty advanced. So, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you can totally break the border. No problem. Yeah?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's good. What's your major?
I'm doing the illustration certificate and then also the entertainment arts.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'd really like to do illustration for, like book covers and album covers and kind of anything. I've done a little bit of doing like illustrations for T-shirt designs and stuff like that before. So I enjoy doing illustration more, but I also want to do the entertainment arts because
entertainment stuff is fun too. It's always interesting to me when I'm hearing, and there's more of you guys than I thought. There's more of you guys that like illustration. I didn't really realize that when I was taking over this class, or not taking over, but teaching it. That there's more of you that are into it than I thought, which is actually encouraging. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? Because I think illustration is super. And to me, they're using illustrators in entertainment design too. It's just they're entertainment design centric. That's all, right?
Yeah.
And then you get certain guys like Eric Tymans, who's a really good painter, and then he's very good at bringing that to the table at ILM and all the places he works at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Brings a lot of atmosphere because he's a plein air painter. So I think being very well rounded really helps you out a lot. I think it gives you an advantage over all those people who are just straight entertainment, because they tend to all look the same. Entertainment people tend to all look the same. So it's a way of differentiating yourself a little bit. If you can bring in some nice painterly quality. That's why everybody loves Craig Mullins, Greg Rutowski. I just found another guy named Jaime Jones, I think, today, that does real painterly stuff, and those guys kind of get set apart from the other ones. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to try and fix this thing so I can get this up.
Mike, did you not get mine?
I just went through everything I had.
Grant.
I sent you mine via email.
Oh, really?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I already brought this one up. Where were you?
For me? I've been here.
Wait, who am I talking to?
You're talking to two people.
Oh, am I? I think I'm supposed to be talking to Grant Yang. Because
Yes.
I brought this one up earlier.
Yeah.
I brought this up earlier. You weren't here.
In class 40, but I didn't see mine.
It needs to be finished out. Yeah?
Could you elaborate just a little bit on how?
Is this tree finished?
Not exact. No, not really.
Okay, it needs to have a level of finish to it now. These are fairly random mark making, all this brick or whatever. These things, they're wonky, but they don't feel like they're wonky on purpose. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't care if you do wonky stuff, that's fine. But it's got to feel like you meant it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So get it and all this empty space in here and this, all of it. Almost everything is just mostly empty space, right?
That's what I wanted to ask you about. It felt very off and empty, but I don't want to add random things just to fill up the space.
No, you don't want to add random, but why can't this back here just be I'm doing this right now on the one that I'm just screwed up. Maybe this back here is, I don't know, some trees or something, and gives you a nice silhouette back there. You know what I mean? And design them better than I just did. Maybe
you're not sharing your screen, so I'm not. Yeah.
It's because I'm trying to get out of here. This back here could be a silhouette.
Oh, okay.
But do it better like this over here, not like what I just did. It could be that. It could be, there could be some things in the foreground. This guy needs, I don't know what his pose is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're telling me he's riding them, and he's riding them, right?
Yeah.
So I might have the kid back here and you know, like a rodeo rider and have his feet up like that, you know.
Okay.
I'm always trying to push the pose. One hand would be holding on to the alligator, maybe the other one's up. You know, they do a lot of times they take their hat off and they, you know. But they're both leaning forward, which doesn't feel right to me. And then you got to get some information in here, whatever that is. And I would still do something with that tail, make it more dynamic. And then what are his hands doing?
Okay.
You know, you got to get some interior shapes going on in here. And there's, you know, there's ways of I'm trying to get you guys to do something that's complicated enough that when you paint it, that there's a reason to paint it. Because if you do it like this, where you have all this empty space, it's going to look like a coloring book. You just filled it in with color. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
You want all that interior information. And okay, so I hit everybody, right?
No, you missed me,
Who's that?
Marcus.
Let me see. Do I have yours?
I sent it to you like Friday.
Friday. Sent
Via
it to
email. Yeah, you said you'd look at it later.
Oh, yeah, I just got swamped. Hang on. I think the next couple days are going to be really painful. This is probably it.
It's the Shakespeare one.
Oh, here it is. Same thing. We got to get it more fleshed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to get more fleshed out. Like that hat needs to be more fluid. I don't like my feather, but you know, just more fleshed out. And again, like when I do these kind of things, I do two like that. Then I go squish it up at the ends. And then I'd push that pose more. Maybe 1 foot over here. 1 foot here. And then I'd really push this. And all this. And like this, but like with that knot or whatever on his belt, you know, make a bigger statement with it. Like you have to make pretty big statements with this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This would be more like that. Then I think they have something like that on them. And then I have to adjust the pose and all that. And I might even take it, sometimes I'll do that, and then I'll take and cut the head off and tilt it back or something to see if it's more dramatic. That make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then this kid, he's got to get more fleshed out, right? Like, what's the stylistic point of view? Right?
Yeah.
Like, he can have a bigger ear. You know, a lot of times kids, I just give them too big ears. And I know I'm changing them a little bit. I might just do the bottom of the nose with kids. I'm trying to kind of reduce information when I do kids. I don't want them to look hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like that. My kid looks a little too old. Maybe I'll pull his chin in a little bit. That helps. Oops. Actually, hang on. Sometimes when you pull their chin in, it'll help quite a bit. You know, and then this has to make sense. Like I'm always thinking about this, like maybe it's, you know, that has that little elastic thing. And then this is very, see how that feels very unstructured?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to feel, and then I would probably have them sitting like that. Like, let's see. And then maybe his hands come down on the front of the thing or something. And then his feet kind of hanging down. This one here. Again, I might put a little pull fold there. Make his sleeves kind of big. There's be a fold there. And again, it's not about being all as accurate to, you know, his clothes and everything. But it's just enough. You know, it's I look at those things as just ways of and then I always put a dark spot right back there. That ends the teeth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is there's that little dark spot back there? That way it can end the teeth without me having to really show much of the teeth. You know, and then a couple things here. Yeah, maybe he's got socks. And then I start to trick out his shoes a little bit. Maybe he's got Converse. Big shoelaces. Maybe his socks falling down. Then a little hint of me. This one would actually be here. And his shirt would probably be more down here. Wouldn't be that small. So now you have a little more interesting pose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So all of it, it's always about that. It's always about, like, we've got to, everything's got to feel like it's intentional. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It has to feel intentional. Once you nail that, then, you know, it has to feel designed. It has to feel like you know, how would a kid sit? You know, would he sit like, lean forward, anxious, you know, and I always pose them out. I always just sit down and pose them out. And again, you can do it in front of a mirror if you want to. I don't usually, but I just want to kind of know from an acting perspective how they would sit there and how he would emote, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to really push the hell out of the pose as much as I can, you know, because I actually like that pose of the kid on the edge of the table like that. Because it looks like two things. It looks like he likes it, obviously, but he looks like he's sort of into it from just being impressed with it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very simple. I mean, sometimes, you know, the dots for the eyes things work. Sometimes it doesn't. And then, you know, if you want to get a little more complicated, sometimes you can come in and put a, you know, but again, I'm trying to kind of reduce information on him.
Right.
Because it's a kid. It's mostly because it's a kid. You know, kids don't have laugh lines. Kids don't have hard lines like here, like I would put on an adult man. They don't have hard jaw lines. The jawline, even though it's like a visual thing, it feels closer here to me. You see how it made him look a little more kid when we pulled that jawline in a little bit?
Yeah.
I'd probably still make him a little younger. You know, maybe he's got a baseball hat on. You know, and then maybe I'd put a logo or something on his shirt. But usually if I'm going to put a logo on the shirt, it's going to be something that speaks to the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe he has a shirt from an alligator farm or something. He used to have an alligator farm, by the way, right by Knott's Berry Farm. Did you know
Oh yeah,
that?
I remember.
Huh?
I remember. My parents went there. I don't remember actually going there, but I do remember it being there.
That's super weird, man. Super weird to think about that stuff now. You know?
I originally put a silly logo on there it was basically like the Instagram logo, but it said Instigator.
Okay, yeah. That works. I like that. It's better than my idea. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
So let's all go to finish. I'm going to get this stupid video done one way or the other. I blame Laura for this.
Makes sense.
All right, you guys. I will see you on Wednesday, and I will get that up. I need you to watch it before it's not that long. It's like an hour right now. And maybe I can fix this one. I'm not sure. Okay?
All right.
All right, you guys.
Sounds
Thank
good.
See you later.
you. See you later.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.